So let the children play, inside your heart always, and death you will defy, 'cause your youth will never die. Today on my own podcast, we break down Never Die. Hello, my friend. We meet again. Welcome to my own podcast, the only Creed podcast, well, that we know of. My name is Andrew Colin, and with me, as always, is my friend, my co-host, the fire to my ice, Reid Fenlaw. What's up, Reid?
Good day.
You're Australian today?
Oh, I am, yeah.
Do you think we could do the whole podcast as Australians?
Probably. I don't see a reason why not.
I think our one listener in New Zealand would be like, these guys are fucking morons.
Well, but he's a New Zealander. He probably likes making fun of Aussies.
A Kiwi?
Yeah, a Kiwi.
That could be true.
What part of Australia would you be from?
Oh, I'd be from Sydney.
Oh, typical.
Why is that typical?
Just because it's the city that everyone thinks about.
But it's the only city I've really been to.
Oh, well, then I'd invite you to take a nice, massive dose of Perth and shove it right up your bum.
Perth.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop speaking in Australian accents in 3, 2, 1. What's up, Reid?
Oh, okay. Hey. Howdy.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just, I wanted to debut that Australian character to you. His name is Randy Roo.
Real original.
And he's,
inspired by some sort of animal, I imagine?
Nope. No, R-E-W. Like
Of
that
course.
kind of Roo.
Okay.
Like having a real Roo of it, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. He's, he goes around looking for tender kisses from Australian women and tourist women.
That didn't really come across in the 10-second banter we had, but I believe you.
He wants tender kisses from beautiful women. He wants to just toss his tongue in the mouth and spin it around like a Tasmanian devil. Like, la, 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 la.
Well, if any casting directors are listening right now, hoping to cast an Australian pervert in their movie, TV series, or commercial,
I'm your guy.
hit us up.
Dude,
Reid Fenlaw.
I've got it, right?
Yeah, I think you got that on
Australian pervert.
nailed down. Yeah,
Thanks,
well,
man.
we're back in the studio for the first time in a while, Reid.
Back in the lab, baby.
What's new with you? You went to Disneyland yesterday.
I did.
You're a Disney boy.
That was my first time I've ever been to Disneyland.
That's pretty
Believe
crazy.
it or not, in my long, long life.
For having lived in LA for a while, too.
Yeah, I've been out here almost 8 years. And
There should be more than one Disney visit within that time frame, I would think, but here we are.
Yeah, but so I had this discussion. I went with my girlfriend yesterday and had this discussion with her because she grew up in Southern California, so she grew up going to Disney a lot. But like, I just wasn't a big Disney kid, I guess. So like our family never went to Disneyland or Disney World. The one time I did go to Disney World was when I was like 14, and it was with a friend's family.
You're just the friend tagging along?
I was a tag along. Yeah.
There were none of your relatives there?
None.
Wow, what a dope friend to have.
I know.
Take you to Disney World.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was neat.
The only friend vacation I had like that is we took my buddy Luke to go to the Jersey Shore with us and go fishing.
And he drowned.
No,
on
he
that
did not drown. Don't accuse my family of a homicide or something.
Hey, I didn't. Whoa.
It
It could have been an accidental drowning.
That's true. I skipped a step there.
Now you just admitted that your parents jointly held Luke Castellanos underwater until he could no longer form sentences.
Yeah.
Or breathe.
Admission might be a strong word, but I'm probably not doing anyone any favors.
You implicated it.
Okay.
You implied it. That's how you say that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm happy you finally got to do you know how you say, like, you're not a New Yorker until you've been on the subway, pooped on a rat.
Yeah,
that's
what they say.
Yeah.
You're not a Texan until you've ridden a horse into a barrel of beer.
Dipped your toes in queso.
Yeah, and dipped your toes in queso.
Well, you're not an Angelino until you've been to Disneyland and high-fived Goofy. So
I didn't even see Goofy.
I don't think I did either when I was there a couple months ago.
Okay, sorry, Goofy made me think of this. You know what I think one of the coolest things is there's hidden characters in other rides.
Really?
Like, do you know that in Pirates of the Caribbean, or was it Indiana Jones? One of those two, there is a part of the ceiling is like a rock formation that when you come around this bend and you're going straight towards it, it is, Pluto's the dog, right?
Yeah, he's the dog that actually has the intelligence of a dog.
Yeah, it's Pluto's head.
Oh, weird.
Like complete with like the long snout and and it's just hidden like in the ceiling.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's a fun little Easter egg.
There's hidden Mickeys in other rides too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Hall of Presidents?
What?
Oh, it's like
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. It's
no.
It's like I think toward the beginning of when you walk in, there's like a boring part that nobody visits because it's like not a Disney affiliated. It's just like I think maybe it's in Disney World, but there is one place where there's just like mechanical versions of every president that like
it's just
it modeled.
It seems unnecessary.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like, what's the connection to Disney?
Disney's old and presidents have been around for a while. Connection made.
Yeah, so has like corn, but there's no Hall of Corn at Disney, even though that's been around. That probably precedes even our oldest president, I would think.
I think we're going to have to delete that from the podcast because it's such a good idea that I don't want Disney to take it.
The Hall of Corn?
Hall of Corn.
Dude, don't steal that.
Don't. That's patented.
That's patented by the Australian pervert Randy Rue.
There you go. Knew he would come back around.
It was fun. I'm glad I did it.
We'll see what you come up with next week, man.
It's just a real zoo out there. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Massive humanity, even on it was a Tuesday. Yesterday was a Tuesday. And it's like a random Tuesday in November.
Oh, you're talking about Disneyland?
Yeah.
I thought you were just talking about the world at large.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people.
I was like,
a lot of people out there.
Really saying some profound stuff.
We're a big place, man. Big place.
Yeah. I'm glad that like going to Disneyland really gave you some perspective on humanity.
It finally something that made me feel really insignificant.
Your girlfriend comes back and be like, what a fun day of rides. And you're like,
life is meaningless.
What's the point of people? There's so many of us trying to get on the ride and only so many of us will experience the joy.
Yeah, man. It's true, though. Like, the world hasn't overwhelmed me. Living in one of the largest cities in the world has not overwhelmed me. Disneyland did it. It made me have a really bleak outlook on life, you know?
Well, in that way, Reed, it feels like you're hearkening back to your youth by going to Disneyland.
What do you mean? It's like my being emo?
No, you weirdo, because Disney has like kid stuff and you're doing a childish activity. Going to Disneyland isn't exactly like, the most mature thing.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be overwhelming and depressing.
Well, I'm just trying to segue into our song this week.
Oh, okay. Well, do better.
Okay.
Let's try it again.
Okay. Reed, you were at Disneyland. Disneyland equals kids. Kids equals today's song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because
pretty
kids
good.
never die.
Exactly.
Well, that's a little bit of a flawed premise.
Okay, jumping into it. Let's talk about our song this week, Reed.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we have the 7th track off Human Clay. That's one of my first facts.
That's a good fact. That's my favorite fact every week.
Yeah, no, me too. I look forward to that one. And this week, we have Never Die. So before I tell you the bare bones facts I was able to find about the song, I wanted to ask, like I do every week, if you had any initial impressions about the song before you re-listen to it, if it occupies any sort of space in your memory or in your brain.
Yeah, this one does not.
Mm-hmm.
To be truthful, this was another song, I think, along with either Faceless Man or Say I or Wrong Way. I mean, it was like I had to the first time I did re-listen to it, prepping, was a nearly full reintroduction to the song. Mm-hmm. Other than I remembered how Scott performed the chorus. But I didn't really remember the words. I didn't remember the simplicity of the lyrics. I didn't really remember anything about it.
Interesting.
But I think it's also overshadowed because it's the track right before the two biggest
right. That's true.
tracks
Everyone's kind of skipping to those.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I think the only thing that really stood out when I hear the title of the song, and I'm not sure if it's like from a long time ago, if it's a more recent sort of association, but that riff immediately pops into my brain. The really simple lick that kind of repeats throughout the whole song, like those 3 notes with the that are kind of like whammied.
Like in that repeat in the chorus, or like in the intro?
No, in the intro and throughout the verse.
Yeah, the intro's weird to me.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm referring to.
Like it feels very un-Creed-like, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was going to talk about it later, but we might as well just talk about it now. Those 3 chords, like notes that are kind of just have that whammy effect on them. I don't know. It gives me a little bit of like Alice in Chains vibes, but like more simplistic and less interesting.
I can see that.
Maybe it's the tonality of the guitar or something, but something about it feels kind of like haunting and unsettling. You know?
Yeah, it kind of threw me off, to be honest. Like, I did not remember the intro to the song, and when it first started playing, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It really surprised me.
Yeah, it's a little jarring.
Out of all the things that I did not remember about Never Die, the opening riff is the thing that I least remembered about it.
That's weird. We differ there.
It started playing, and I was like, this isn't... what band is this?
Yeah, I think it's so different. This is why I remembered it. Is why I'm like, oh, that's just the kind of funky opening song.
Yeah, you think you're better than me for remembering it?
In a lot of ways, but this is only an additional way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just adding on to that.
I went to Disneyland yesterday. You don't talk to me like this.
I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin the high that you're still clearly coasting on.
Thank you.
So I'll just, you know what? I'll just dive into the facts.
Fine.
Because you can't disagree with what I found on the internet.
You never know.
The internet's always right.
You never know.
Okay, so as I may have alluded to earlier, I wasn't able to find much in the way of facts about the song because it is a lesser-known song. It's not a single. It's maybe not even one that most people know, even big fans of the band. So a few little oddball facts I found that don't weigh in on the meaning of the song, but I wanted to share. Go as follows, Reed.
Okay.
So in a Loudwire interview from earlier this year about their first concert back in 12 years, the band was asked what song felt best to play on stage, either night 1 or night 2 of their first stop, which I believe was in Pittsburgh. Scott Stapp is quoted with saying, "I've really enjoyed Never Die, Faceless Man, Never Say I, but particularly Faceless Man. That's always been the one that I really connect with on a spiritual level. It rocks as well, so I definitely feel connected with something greater than myself when I'm performing that song." Notably, Never Say I is not a song. I think he meant just Say I.
I was gonna say, did we fuck up the name of a song? It's just Say I.
It's just Say I, okay. But I just ripped it from the Loudwire interview. So not much to say there other than they like performing Never Die.
I'm a little surprised that they perform it.
Me too, but I guess it rocks. I think the chorus is punchy, and it would make for a good live song.
I can see that. I do have in my thoughts here that I like the chorus musically, and that comes right after weird musical intro, not very Creedish.
Very well said.
I agree. There are parts of the song that like rock a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised there's not much on it.
Well, I have one other... I don't even know if I would call this a fact, but something.
It's got to be an opinion if it's not a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
In what was Creed's first show in 2009 for their Full Circle tour, a Rolling Stone article described the show, saying that the band essentially still had the good stuff. They still rocked. This is their first show since like 2003, since the Weather tour ended. Specifically, Rolling Stone said, the rhythm section flexed for a tooth-rattling slow groove. It Never Die.
A tooth-rattling slow groove?
Yes.
In which the rhythm section did what?
Flexed? Yeah.
That's like ChatGPT wasn't around in 2009, but that sounds like something that was written by ChatGPT.
I don't know, man. When I listen to the song, my teeth rattle.
Yeah. I always think of the rhythm section just flexing.
Yeah.
Too, the whole time.
We could be writers for Rolling Stone.
Or ChatGPT. Okay. I mean, that's That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of where I landed on it. Like, oh, that's something I found, so I'm going to say it.
I can't dispute it. I wasn't at that concert.
Neither was I.
I'm pretty skeptical of it. Fucking skeptical. We could find
footage of them playing it and see if our teeth rattle.
Okay, but maybe you had to be there in person for your teeth to rattle.
YouTube might not be the same. We need a time machine. Okay, well, anyway, those are all the facts I have that don't weigh in on the meaning. And spoiler, I don't have much of the other facts either.
That's okay.
So let's just dive into the gosh darn lyrics.
Okay.
Verse 1, hands on a window pane, watching some children laugh and play. They're running in circles with candy canes and French braids.
Yeah. I mean, I think all this is just... it's obviously he's just painting a word image, but I think it's all just setting up a picture of like stereotypical kids playing at Christmas time for some reason. Like, what's with the candy?
Oh, candy canes.
Why candy canes? There's nothing else in the song about. Like, it just seems weird. Why isn't it like lollipops or like sodas or?
Especially because candy canes can be enjoyed, I think, by anyone at any age.
Yeah.
I think maybe even kids don't even like candy canes that much because they're like very peppermint.
And like it is something that is seasonal, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I would never see or eat a candy cane outside of the month of December.
Right. So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. And the French braids is kind of, I guess, like little girls.
I think it just needed another syllable before braids, and French is the only. It was either French braids or big braids. And
French is better.
He went French, but. The candy cane line is a little perplexing to me. I'm not going to lie.
What about hands on a window pane? That's the only one that...
I think it's just imagery of that, like someone who's longing to be outside as a kid. Like, I think it's him as an adult standing at the window, like that. Just that like image. I know if you're just listening, you can't see me right now, but it's as if I'm standing at a window and my hands are on it and you're looking longingly, like wishing to be out there.
Like palms on the window.
Yeah. It's just that pose. I don't think it's too...
That pose feels a little childish to me, too. Like putting your hand in the actual window pane.
Yeah, because
leaving a print.
If you're an adult, you're the one that has to clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think all that's just...
Evoking images of childhood.
Yeah. I don't think any of those lines is super deep other than... serving to set up the visual of like someone longing for their youth by putting them in a window watching children outside engaging in classic children hijinks, except this time with candy canes.
Yeah, I think I'm generally on the same page. I don't know if there's that aspect of longing for the youth because I still think hands on a window pane kind of makes me feel like a kid is looking out the window at other kids. But I do think it just paints an imagery of childhood and the innocence of childhood. Okay, so the other half of the first verse. Inspired to question what makes us grown-ups anyway, let's search for the moment when youth betrayed itself to age.
Yeah, I think getting a little deeper here, but I think it's still pretty simple. I think he's saying that at some point we become adults and stop doing the childlike things that keep us young, and then imploring us to reflect and find that moment or moments that caused him / the listener to lose those childlike tendencies.
Yeah, and those moments are probably like some Christmas because of the candy cane talk.
He probably has candy cane trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think what makes us grown-ups anyway, I think he's sort of hinting at that, like, there really is no difference between kids and adults. It's like something inside yourself that makes you feel like you have to grow up, when in reality, we can retain the spirit of children within us. So, yeah. like find that moment in your life where you felt like you had to grow up when like that playfulness of youth was lost.
And I think it's interesting that he doesn't say it in the song, but like those moments are like those things I think that make us lose that are really just put on us by the world.
Yeah.
Like, I think if left to our own devices, we'd all stay young and happy and game playing in one form or another forever.
Eating candy canes and braiding each other's hair.
French style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smacking window panes and leaving our prints on it.
Because I think when youth betrayed itself to age is really interesting. Like that phrasing, it's that at a certain age, like we have ages in society where like at 18, we agree you're some level of adult.
That's why you can watch porn.
Yeah. At 21, you're a new level of adult.
That's why you can get drunk on vodka.
At 25, you're a new level of adult.
That's where you can rent a car.
At 35, you're a new level of adult.
That's where you can run for president.
At 55, you're a new level of adult.
Oh, no. Qualify for...
You're going to miss the last one? You got all of them.
I know.
You're officially a senior citizen.
At 55?
At 55.
I thought it was 65.
I think it's 55.
Oh, man.
Pretty sure.
Agree to disagree.
What do you mean?
I thought it was 65. Well, while Reed looks that up, I was going to say when youth betrayed itself to age makes me feel like you're doing yourself a disservice when you think that your age is something that keeps you from acting and enjoying life the way you did when you were a youth. So I think when our youth is betrayed when we become a certain age and we think we have to act in a certain way, when in reality there's nothing different about us other than our inability to do cool kickflips anymore.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have all these extra expectations on you just because you're 18 or 21, but, like, what's the difference in me yesterday versus today other than, like, some thing we put upon ourselves that comes with expectations?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I've had people telling me to grow up my whole life.
Grow up.
I'm like, why? What does that mean?
And then,
I pay my bills and I feed myself, and like, what else is there to being a grown up?
That's pretty much it.
I know, but people think it's like it's how you dress, it's how you act, it's like your hobbies. I'm like, why? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, if I want to play video games in my underwear, I'm gonna do that.
Yes, if you're taking care of, you're handling your actual adult shit.
Yeah,
like as long as you're like handling your responsibilities that actually come with like not being under your parents, like, then do what you want.
Well said.
Thank you.
So moving on. Oh.
I can't find a good age for senior citizens.
Oh.
So people age 50 and older are eligible for membership with AARP.
All right. Are those the commercials Gronk does?
Yep.
Then I think that has to be the most binding authority.
But the senior citizen in California means a person 62 years of age or older, or 55 years of age or older in a senior citizen housing development.
All right, this is gray area.
Why? What's wrong with us? Why can't we just decide this?
Come on, AI, give us an answer.
That's so dumb. I didn't even ask AI. I just asked Google.
Google's an idiot.
Should I ask AI?
No, just drop it.
Okay. It's not important.
As we move on to the chorus. So let the children play. Inside your heart always, and death you will defy, 'cause your youth will never die.
Let your inner child live on,
brother.
Age is a number, immaturity is forever. I think there's an outside chance he could be meaning that like the memory of our youth lives on forever. But I think more likely he's just saying as long as we keep that spirit alive in us, like actively practicing doing that is what will keep us young.
Feed your inner child.
Yeah.
Do improv.
Feed the beast.
Make a podcast with your friend about your favorite band.
Yeah. Eat nothing but bologna sandwiches for a year.
Suck on candy canes and braid your friend's hair.
Wear diapers.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
What about the second part? And death you will defy, because your youth will never die. How are you defying death? Do you think he's saying like you can kill the Grim Reaper if you just pretend to be a baby your whole life?
Yeah, I think he's saying that if we all band together, we could be an army of murderous babies, and we could kill death.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah. I think it's bravado and hyperbole just for the song. Like
you'll feel younger if you just act like you are younger and feed your
Yeah, I mean, look, come on. No one
Come on.
in the history of the world has never not died.
What about Nicholas Flamel?
Oh, of the famous Flamel file?
Oh, it was
Flamel
a
Files?
Harry Potter reference. I think he did die.
I never saw Harry Potter.
Or it's
I know,
primarily
like,
a book.
House of Dragons.
No.
Is that Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, Lord Bannister.
Stop. The banister is a household thing.
It's a household thing?
Yeah, you have a banister in your house.
No, but like
It's not the name of
Lord,
a person.
Lord
Voldemort?
Tyrion.
Okay, just keep reading
Who's
before.
that from?
It sounds like you're making an inaccurate reference to Game of Thrones.
Oh, I never saw that either.
Yeah, I know.
I don't watch entertainment.
You hate being entertained.
I am entertainment.
Nice.
Yeah. Put that on a postcard and send me money.
Same casting director is going to cast Nicholas Rue or whatever.
That's Randy Rue.
Randy Rue.
Yeah. Okay. What did you ask me? No, I don't think he's saying it's literal. I think it's just defy death to a certain point, or he's saying just defy the death of your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people like that. You see people walking around, it's like, man, your like spirit of like fun and inquisitiveness and curiosity is dead. I think he's saying that you'll defy the death of your inner child.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank
Just
you.
go to Disneyland.
I did.
This is a song about going to Disneyland.
It is.
I think so.
Welcome to Disneyland, kids. Here's our theme song, Never Die.
Could you imagine? We should make a music video put to like Creed live performances and like footage of Disneyland. It'd be like visit Disney.
Of us at Disneyland?
Yeah, we could do that too.
You just make a spec commercial for them?
Yeah. I'm going to work on that.
Okay.
Okay. Second verse.
Wait, what about you? You didn't tell me your thoughts on the chorus, I don't think.
Well, I said like the army of babies, but also, yeah, no, I think he's referring to like your youth will never die. You'll defy the death of your youth if you just feed the inner child inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire's got to have oxygen, man.
And oxygen has to have
Water.
planet Earth.
Yep.
In searching for substance, we're clouded by struggle's haze. Remember the meaning of playing out in the rain.
Adults, we're always looking for what matters in life, I think. And like what really matters, not like, I'm not talking about like job or obligation stuff. I think it's just more visuals, like kind of reminding us to, hey, every once in a while, man, close your eyes and like remember what it was like to just be a kid walking out the door, looking up and seeing the rain and just going and just fucking around in it, and like how simple and certain those moments were. Just like, this is what I want to be doing right now. Like this is fulfilling. It makes me happy, and I think, and in those moments, like that's all that matters too.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to be playing in the rain. I think it could be any childhood like activity,
Like picking your nose and flicking on a friend.
pick your nose, flicking it, like eating burritos,
I do that as an adult.
playing tag,
There you go.
having indiscriminate sexual relations
No.
with, okay, well, my childhood was different.
We got a lot to talk about off the pod.
Yeah, I think it's just more imagery of like, he's really trying to put us in that mindset, I think, with the lyrics of the song.
A lot of imagery.
A lot of imagery.
I agree. I think Clouded by Struggle's Haze is just kind of like you alluded to, just like in living your life and trying to be happy, you're often just like caught up in the struggle of everyday life, of paying your rent and working a job and trying not to have your stomach hurt after eating a large meal.
Dude, that happens to me all the
time.
Yeah.
But, you know, in those moments, it's helpful to just try to recenter yourself and remember how it felt to be a child embracing simple things.
Do you ever think
playing stuff?
Do you ever think back to those childhood moments and think just how weak and disrespected you were?
One time I have this vivid memory of a time I was playing video games with my friend Luke. Don't remember what game we are, but I was wearing my favorite Mighty Ducks shorts and I pooped my pants.
On purpose?
No.
Because he was destroying you in the game?
Probably. But I just like...
Did you tell him? Did you admit it?
No, I think I was like, I got to go for a second.
Andrew, what did you do? Were you at his house or yours?
I think it was my house.
Okay, so you had clothes there.
Yeah.
Did you throw away the stuff you pooped in?
You got to ask my mom.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I would prefer you do not ask my mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We swim in the fountain of youth's timeless maze. If you drink the water, your youth will never fade.
I mean, the first thing that jumps off the page to me of those lyrics is the referencing the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's the mystical place that if you drink of its waters, you will, or bathe in its waters, one of the two. I can't remember, maybe both. You will live forever. I think the timeless maze is actually pitches a positive thing here of like, cool, it's like endless fun for a kid. Like, hey, man, it's like a puzzle that just never stops. And you can play with it forever.
I think Timeless Maze, just riffing off that, similarly is like just when you're a kid, like everything is sort of new and exciting and curious.
Yeah.
So I think kind of like that.
And I think there's, at least my adult brain, when I think of like mazes, you're like, my first thought goes to trapped. I'm going to be trapped and never get out.
Oh, mine goes to corn maze, but okay.
But a kid, you're just like, oh, yeah, it's a fucking adventure. It's a never-ending adventure. So what if we get lost? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm with my friends.
No responsibilities. You know? I don't have to turn in that paperwork by 4 p.m.
No, I don't have to make my kids' beds because it'd be weird if I had kids because I'm 11.
Yeah.
Even though at that age I was having
relationships
with other... Okay, that's fine. You don't have to believe me.
Okay.
And if you drink the water, your youth will never fade. That's just, again, referencing the myth of like if you drink from the fountain of youth, your youth will never fade. And again, I don't think he's not being literal. I don't even think believes there's a real fountain of youth. I think it's up here in our brains. Just like I think it's a choice. It's this whole thing. It's like, choose to honor that part of you and it won't go away.
Agreed, yeah. I think based on the lyrics that came right before that if you drink the water, youth will never fade, although it's like there's painting that imagery of the fountain of youth that's kind of harkens back to like, if you feed your inner child and if you keep those things alive within you, then your youth will never die. So it doesn't have to actually drink from some holy water. It's all about the choices you make and the effort you put toward it.
It's all about the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
You know?
And the corn mazes that we completed with our buddies.
Why do you want corn mazes? You're from Philadelphia. There's no corn there.
Yeah, if you go outside the city, there's corn.
Corn does not grow in Philadelphia.
Not
in
the metropolis.
In Pennsylvania.
Yes, it does.
There are no farms there.
I definitely went on a corn maze when I was younger.
No, not in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, dude, I think it was in like Pottstown.
Oh, maybe in Pottstown.
That's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. I guess maybe in Lancaster too.
Yeah, there's a whole Amish.
I know.
Pennsylvania's big, dude. Pennsylvania's big.
What's it as big as?
What state?
Is it as big as the Creed Summer of '99 tour?
Oh, it's not that. Nothing's that big.
Okay. Well, then drop it.
Okay, dropping. Moving on and finishing with the bridge. I won't let go of that youthful soul. Despite body and mind, my youth will never die. Then he repeats that.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's aging, but his mind is made up to stay young, and I think it's one final... I mean, he sings the chorus again after this, but one final unique way of saying, like, choose youth. The same way that I think there's power in the mind to choose anything. It's like it's like deciding that you're gonna wake up at a certain time every day and then just doing it. Like,
agreed.
We have a lot of power up there, or I do at least. You don't.
No,
you're a big dum dum.
I'm a big dumb guy.
Andrew's a big dum dum.
But that's why my youth will never die, because my brain never evolved beyond that of a child boy.
That's true.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think by committing to the inner child within him and feeding it and doing the things he loved as a kid, that even though his body will get wrinkles and his hair might fall out and his mind is clearly like no longer that of a child, but he'll still never lose that within him.
Yeah, I mean, I like the message behind the song.
Me too.
I don't know. It just is. It's not super like inspirational to me. But also, I wonder if that's maybe because I feel like I already have that mindset. Like
You're kind of a man child.
I'm kind of a man child. Like,
yeah.
I've been on the earth for north of 4 decades, and I still have a lot of.
Still eat with your
I
hands.
still eat with my hands. Like, someone else has to wipe me.
Yeah.
I still collect baseball cards.
You still collect baseball cards and watch cartoons.
I watch cartoons.
Play video games. Pick your nose.
I pick my
your
nose.
teeth.
I pick my nose and put it in my teeth.
Yeah.
It's just I like pranks. You
love pranks.
I love pranks. I like sports.
Yeah.
I really do like youthful stuff.
It's all a construct. Nothing is really youthful or old. It's just what society deems it to be.
You're right. And I think that's kind of the point.
Picking your nose, I guess, maybe is a little
old. It's an old person thing.
Yeah.
No, but you know what's funny is like all the stuff that you do when you're young, then it's like you have this middle part of life that is where you're supposed to be a responsible adult. But then once you retire, once you're like an old person at, let's just say 65, then all of a sudden it's like they're all playing pickleball and like speed dating, the single ones, and like just a horse, like they're doing this youthful stuff again because they have all this like time. So like, why do we return to our youthful state at the end of life?
Yeah, we should just
probably means we should have never left.
Exactly.
And if you live long enough, other people have to take care of you again.
Or we should just be mature adults from the beginning.
No.
Babies carrying briefcases.
Oh, I can't wait for you to have a kid.
I'm not.
This kid's going to be like 4, giving me wanting to talk to me about like international trade policy at dinner. Like, shut the fuck up, 4-year-old.
Yeah, then I'll kick you out of my house for telling my 4-year-old child to shut the fuck up.
He'll know what it means because he's a full adult. So, okay.
Okay, so let's go over a little bit of the meaning from the band, which there pretty much is none, and then give our final thoughts and get on out of here.
Awesome.
I wasn't able to find much in Sinner's Creed, which is, of course, is Scott's autobiography, but I did find one line where he talks about the Human Clay Tour, and he says, "The Clay Tour went on and on. They visited multiple countries and continents, and there's pretty much no place they wouldn't go." He said, "Keep on keeping on. That was our mantra. The drive was there, and the drive would never die." So I could be extrapolating here, but it felt a little bit intentional to say never die, considering that's the name of a song on the very same album they're promoting. And then sort of similarly, recently, while talking to the crowd before playing Never Die in Pittsburgh for their Summer of '99 show, Scott said, "Heartache, betrayal, struggles, self-inflicted pain, the mistakes we make, bad decisions. I know, man, I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic. I've made some bad decisions, but no matter what life throws us, no matter how many times we fall, whether it's by the hands of someone else or our own hands, we get back up and keep fighting. We keep pushing on." So I think it sort of feels like, although I think what we said about youth and stuff is all accurate based on the song, but it just sort of feels like Never Die is like a universal message in a lot of ways, and maybe it's taken on a new sort of meaning for Scott and a lot of people. But I think this idea of like never stopping what you love and never giving up hope and just continuing to pursue what you want. So although I think the song is about youth and it's probably written that way, I think it's, it's kind of shifted.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I mean, I think even in like adults' lives, we go through periods where, like, I don't know. I feel like you hear full-grown adults say all the time, like, "Oh, that made me feel really alive," or "I felt like a kid again." Mm-hmm. And I think it's like he could be using it in that manner of just like, man, even when you're an adult, like those moments are there to remind you to never die, to not like give up, to keep finding those moments. So I think you're right that he could have adapted it to just adult life. Mm-hmm. And so like we're going to have times for however long we live that make us feel good and better and more alive than others. And yeah, I mean, I think he could absolutely be have adapted it to modern adult living.
For sure.
I'm a modern adult in a modern world.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Okay.
And then probably the most paramount source I have is from a user named Le Artist.
That's French for the artist.
Written 21 years ago about the song. The artist believes it has a somewhat spiritual tone to it, which is not odd for Scott Stapp. If you drink the water, your youth will never fade, which reminds me of what the Bible said. Jesus told the Samaritan woman at the well, water of everlasting life. It's a great song either way because we don't lose our youthfulness either. That way we'll always feel young at heart.
And I thought about like the biblical angle of this, but I don't think that's what he's singing about here.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that of like, oh, drink of the water of life, and like, but I don't think that's what this is about. I think this is like, it is what it seems.
Yeah.
He's singing about just like bottling up that youthful feeling and making sure that you carry it with you.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most straightforward Creed song maybe that we've covered.
It's so straightforward. Both of us understand it.
Yeah, and we're dumb.
We're idiots, man. We're fucking dumb.
So with all of that analysis, that A+ analysis, Reed.
Thanks, man.
Give your final thoughts on the song, and why don't you rate it while you're at it?
Weird intro.
Yeah.
Don't love it. Musically, chorus, I like it. The message is fine. Doesn't do a lot for me. It's kind of a filler song to me.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 5 yeahs, I bestow upon this song, Never Die, 1.25 yeahs.
Wow.
And I feel like that's fair.
Sound like you want Never Die to die.
I don't want it to die. I just want it to change.
Yeah, just change who you are.
Just be better. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't stop being such a kid.
Okay, critical.
Grow up.
All right.
Is that overly critical?
I don't know. Who cares? It's a podcast.
It's my day, man.
All right.
I'm coming down from Disney, so I'm in a hole.
This song sucks compared to Aladdin's Whole New World.
Yeah, man. Don't listen to this song when you're leaving Pirates of the Caribbean ride because you'll hate everything.
They don't go together.
No.
I agree with some of what you said. I mean, the biggest drawback for me on this song, I think, is the main lick that we talked about. I find it to be like kind of irritating throughout the whole song.
Okay.
I mean, we talked about how good of a guitarist Tremonti is, and I just don't think this song showcases that at all. And I feel like the guitar, at least through the verse, isn't so much about like precision or creating an interesting rhythm. It's like more about creating a feeling. And that feeling is like I said, sort of like an eerie, uncomfortable sort of those whammy notes that they kind of like, that reverberate kind of uncomfortably. And that's just repetitive. It's really repetitive in that way. But I do think the chorus has like a head. It really turns up at the chorus in a way that I think is fun. And it's like, it's one that's pretty fun to sing along to and stuff because it's sung with passion and it's kind of like very clear what he's saying. And there's like those long, fun pauses after he says the first line. He also says like, let the children play for like 6 bazillion times in the chorus. And he even says something to that effect in the verses.
That's good?
No, I'm like, I get it. Let the children play.
Like, fine, they're playing, Scott.
The lyrics are, I like the message. I think the lyrics are kind of weird in that way. And we talked about with the candy canes and the French braids. So yeah, I think it's kind of a filler track, but maybe a little stronger than Faceless Man. But I guess it sets itself up nicely for the next song, which really is a good one.
Yeah. What is it?
I think it's Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, it is. By TLC.
Yep. So I would, I think I would give it 2 yeahs.
Two even?
2 even.
Okay.
It's not, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. I don't know. It's not a strong 2. I could see myself going, being convinced to make it lower because of the things I laid out. But ultimately it's not, offensive. It's just not great.
I'm patently offended by this.
I'm offended.
Okay, I think a 2's fair.
Yeah.
I accept your score.
Thanks, bud.
And I accept you.
I appreciate that.
And I want you to stay young forever.
Guess we're going back to Disneyland this week.
You go to Disneyland, You got to stretch every once in a while. You got to drink water.
Eat candy canes.
Eat candy canes. And I think after we stop recording, Andrew and I are going to sit down and French braid each other's hair.
Do we have enough hair?
Are we French enough? These are all questions we'll figure out. Yeah.
Well, Reed, I think it's time that we make our escape.
Let's go there.
For my own podcast, I'm Andrew Colin.
I'm Randy Rue.
Bye.
Good day.